Hi friends, welcome to Zoom in Zoom Out. My name is Amit. I'm an architect and designer for over 15 years. I wanted to share why I switched to Revit and what are the three biggest advantages that you can have when you switch to Revit from AutoCAD. So if you want to know what are the three biggest advantages and how you can save time and be more efficient, stick around. Don't get me wrong, AutoCAD is versatile. In fact, a lot of consultants in the building industry, like MEP consultants, mechanical, electrical, plumbing consultants, they use it to their advantages and it works pretty well for them. Agreed that the framework of AutoCAD is simple and the familiarity is also a plus point with that. However, AutoCAD is a CAD software, it's a drafting software, and Revit is a software designed for BIM. Now let's come back to the advantages of Revit. Let's zoom in. Number one, Revit creates plans, sections, elevations as we go. What I mean by that is that when you are making plan, you're also creating sections and elevations. This is a big advantage and I'll tell you why. So traditionally, when we were doing drafting in AutoCAD, we used to make plans first, and then we used to use the projection techniques to make the elevations, and then we used to make the sections, and sometimes we also used to make 3D. Now let me show you how it could be done on Revit. So here is Revit, and as you can see, there are 4 windows open in this area. One is the ground floor, the other is section, the third is 3D, and the fourth is south elevation. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mainly concentrate on this area, which is the ground floor, and I'm going to make a simple building here, and you will see that as I am making these, the other views will be made simultaneously. So let's go for doing it. So I'm just going to use a wall. It's a basic 230 thick wall, and I'm just going to keep everything else as the default. I'm just going to make, let's say, a 14 meter by 5 meter, and let me just make a L-shaped building here. There you go. So this is, the walls are done, and as you can see, now let's go to the section area. As you can see, the section line is going through here, and these two walls are getting cut, which are this and this wall. Similarly, the elevation is getting created. It's a south elevation, which means that we are looking at this part, and the 3D is also getting created. Now let me also quickly make a roof so that it kind of makes it look as if it's complete. So I'm just again going to keep everything as default, and I'm just going to go to the ground floor, and I'm going to make a 3D I'm going to make a 30-degree slope wall. I think I messed up here. Okay, and I'm just going to accept all the defaults, and again, as you can see in the 3D, it looks like a nice sloping roof here, and also in the section you can see that this part is getting cut. So roof itself is also getting cut, and so are the walls, and it is so much easier. Sometimes this part are not too easy to make when you are using the projection technique in AutoCAD. So this is what it does in one go. So this looks really good. Now let's zoom out a bit. A software that creates plans, sections, elevations, 3D at the same time, it cuts down the time massively. It is something that the bosses are looking for. Your client will be happy if it's done in efficient time. It's a win-win. Number 2, Revit's elements are coordinated or in sync. When you're working in AutoCAD, if you have to change, let's say, the placement of a window or a door, it needs to be changed in plan, it needs to be changed in elevation, in the section, and if they're 3D, then you have to change it in 3D as well. Now let me show you how it could be done in Revit. Okay, now as you can see that I've added the doors and I've also tagged them. So this door is called D1, this one is called D2, and similarly with the windows, we are calling it W1, W2, W3, and so on. And the other thing in terms of how Revit is in sync, I would like to show you something called a door or window schedule. So let me, instead of this section, let me show you a window schedule, sorry, a door schedule here. So as you can see, it shows that we have got two doors in the ground floor, and these are the ones, and it's creating a list by itself. Now let's say the client says that you do not, they want a bigger door or a double door or a different door. So let me show you, if I change this particular door to something else. So this one is 900 wide, and let's say for some reason I am making it a double door like such. So as you can see, it becomes double door in ground floor, it becomes double door in 3D view, it becomes double door in the south elevation. And I also want you to notice that it becomes a double door. So if you can see the width here, it is much wider than 900 as it was showing before. So everything is in sync. It goes without saying that let's say I change anything in here, it will also be changing the view. So let me just change the D1 as, let's say, D10, or so let me just make it D10. So if I have changed the name of the door here, as you can see, it is reflected in this area as well. So everything is interconnected and they are in sync all the time. Number 3, Revit's elements are calculable and computable. You know what happens practically is that a lot of designers are very passionate about the design aspects and how it's going to look like, what's the aesthetics of it, how the spaces are flowing, and what's the interaction of inside and outside and such things. These boring stuffs are the calculations or the data that we were talking just a few minutes back. Now these data are very important. Why it's important? Because the external consultants, they need this data. Sometimes the client needs this data. And what are these data? These data are for example, if the data is for the structural analysis, then you provide the data for structural analysis, or your software is supposed to provide the data for structural analysis. I think we should let the computer do what it does best. It computes stuff. So let it compute stuff for us. So let's jump to Revit and I'll show you how. Using the same example here again, and all I have done is I've added a room. So this part is now called room, and it is 73 square meters. And the new window that you see here is a room schedule where it is just calculating the area of the floor here. Now let's say your client has asked, or your boss has asked to increase or move this particular wall. Let's say I'm moving this wall by a few meters here. Now I want you to see that the area of this part has been increased, and without us calculating, it has already calculated that it's 82 square meters. Not only this, if you see this in this window in the room schedule, it has also increased the area by 82 square meters. Needless to say that the wall has been moved in the 3D and in the elevations, and also the roof has been adjusted accordingly. So this is a great benefit. Now let's zoom out again. A huge part of any building design is the collection of data and making some really useful and rich calculations out of it. It is a part of a design which cannot be avoided, and Revit does it readily for us, and we just have to know the right tools. So in conclusion, you can see that all three advantages pretty much are doing one big thing, which is cutting down the time by a greater amount. Now the two last advantages, which is the Revit being coordinated and computable, these two are a typical characteristics of any BIM software. So it's not just about Revit, but it's also about any other BIM software which is designed for building design will do the same thing. Why I said Revit is because it's coming from Autodesk, and probably it is easier for people who are working on AutoCAD already, or they have the familiarity with AutoCAD. It will probably be a little easier to transition to Revit that way. Finally, if you think that you gained any value from this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your colleagues and friends. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for your time.